Hi guys, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. I have a lovely water Vinyasa flow for you today. We will be getting strong and fluid and stretchy. Really hope you enjoy it. I would recommend having any blocks or props that you might need. As always, blocks are great, and we are going to be doing a have a lovely option for Shavasana at the end, where you can have a bolster under your legs. So if you either have a bolster or a couple of cushions, this kind of shape if possible, but no worries if not, it's just an option. Lovely, well let's get started in a lying position. So come to your kind of Shavasana position actually on the mat. So lie down and just let your feet drop out to the side. Let your palms face the ceiling if that feels comfortable, bringing the hands slightly away from the body. And start to soften your gaze. Maybe you start to close the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And just take a little scan of the body today. So perhaps starting with the toes and the feet, just noticing any sensations or feelings. Scanning up through the legs, pelvis, the hips, the torso, the ribs, the shoulders, the neck, the head, down through your arms, fingers. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. And just acknowledging your breath. Being the watcher of your thoughts for a moment. And maybe coming to a place today of non-judgment. And that's not just non-judgment on others, that's for yourself too. Maybe your exhales start to become longer than your inhales. Know that this is a safe place where you can release anything that is not going to serve you in this present moment. When you're ready, start to bring a little bit of awareness back into the physical body. Maybe bring some feeling back in your fingers and your toes. Give them a little bit of a wiggle around. And interlace your fingers. And if it feels comfortable to, flip your palms towards the back wall of the room and take a stretch over your head. If that's too much, you can have the palms facing in. They don't have to be facing the back wall. Maybe you find a yawn here. And as you're doing this, stretching the feet in the opposite direction. Feeling a lovely stretching sensation through the body, through the arms, the shoulders, the legs. Noticing that everything's connected. Moving one area of your body connects directly to another and another and another. And then start to take your stretch, maybe just leading with the hands slightly over to the right side and feeling a stretch through the left side body, still lying down here. Again, this can be a really small movement. This does not need to be anything. Does not need to be anything drastic, just a little small movement to feel a little stretch and opening in the body. Come through neutral and come over to the left side, feeling into that stretch. Again, you can flip the palms either way at any time throughout this. Do what feels most comfortable for you. And then release the arms down. I'm going to come into a reclined pigeon. So if you ground through the left foot, bending in the left knee, start to bring the right sort of ankle to that left thigh. And this right knee is really opening out to the side. Now, if this feels quite strong, you have an option here to just come up and bring yourself up with your hand supporting you on the mat and slide that left leg out a little bit, yeah? So you could come to this option if reclined pigeon or pigeon is quite a strong one for you, or you're not quite there yet in the practice today. That's absolutely fine. Do what feels right. So you could come to this option here and work with this and just keep sliding the leg down to release any kind of tension. If you are in the reclined version, you can start to bring this left leg in towards you, getting your hands and just interlacing just behind that left thigh and releasing your back to the mat, just very gently guiding that left knee in towards you, and possibly your right elbow is also guiding the right knee out into a lovely opening and stretch. Flexing the left foot and feeling that stretch through the glutes, the IT band, opening of the hip. And release. Ground both feet on the mat, just take a little wiggle, shake it out. And then grounding through the right foot, come onto the other side. So bringing that left ankle to the right thigh, opening through that left hip. And then if you're in the reclined version, you can start to interlace your hands behind that right leg and gently, gently pull it back in towards your chest. That's just the direction it's going in. It really does not need to be anywhere near your chest. And just breathe. You can gently use your elbow to guide the left knee out. This is just a really gentle press, and it's just an option. You can be in the upright seated version of this if that's what's working for you today. Just really easing ourselves into the practice, remembering that this is your time. And release. Release your feet down to the mat and just start making your way up to a seated position in a way that's comfortable and accessible for you. And then come over onto your knees so that you're kneeling. If it's not comfortable for you to be in a kneeling position, you can just come to a different alternative seated position and just take a little shake out with the wrists. You might find a mantra or an affirmation that you like to come back to during this exercise. This is one that I do quite a lot, just to warm into those wrists before practice. Okay. Now from kneeling, reaching your hands out in front of you, coming into your child's pose. Melting the body down to the mat and the forehead coming towards the mat. You could take a block or a cushion here to rest your forehead on if that's more comfortable for you. But wherever you are, you're just going to take some stretches to the side. So just walk those hands over to the right slightly in your child's pose and just feel the stretch again through the left side body. If you need a blanket here between your hips and your heels, then please support yourself with a blanket. Feel the breath coming through the back and the side body. Walk your hands through neutral and over to the left side now. Stay in your child's pose, opening up through the right side body. Connecting to your breath. And then coming back through to neutral, start to send your hips away from your heels. So roughly hips are now in line with the knees and start to come into puppy. So walking those hands out in front, taking a stretch, opening up through the shoulders. Melting the forehead down towards the mat. Arms stretched out in front. And try and check in with the Mula Bandha, the root lock here, and engage the core to support you in your puppy. Think about bringing the pelvis up and in towards the body. When you're ready, walk those hands back in, meeting in a tabletop position. Tuck the toes under and start to walk the feet in between the hands or in that direction. Feet are roughly hip width apart, and slowly you can soften the knees as much as you need to. Start to curl the body up to standing, rounded spine. Head and neck coming last. Really rolling body up to a standing position. Tadasana. So now we're at the top of your mat. Feet are grounded, pressing through the big toes, lifting the ribs away from the hips. Sweep the arms up to the side. On an inhale and exhale, hinging at the hips. Soften the knees as much as you need to, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Hands to shins or to the mat. Exhale, soften the knees, frame the feet and step back into plank position. Remembering your Mula Bandha, your root lock, engaging that core, really strong in the core in your plank. And on an exhale, soften the knees to the mat. Lower the rest of your body down. Inhale, roll the shoulders, start to lift the chest, cobra, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, engaging the lower body, supporting your spine. Exhale, melt the body back down. Inhale, pressing through the hands, bring the body back through to tabletop. Tuck the toes under. On exhale, send the hips to the sky. Coming back into a downward facing dog. First downward facing dog of the practice. Grounding through the hands and the feet. Imagine the hands and feet are pressing down and away from each other. Lengthening the spine. Hips coming towards the sky. Gaze coming through between the legs. Relaxing the head and the neck. Knees can be softened as much as you need to. Feet do not need to be flat. And in fact, sometimes when we give ourselves a little bit of a softening in the knees and come up onto our toes slightly, and then think about lengthening the spine, sometimes this can give us more length. Or you may want to try coming to this first and then see how it feels to press the heels down towards the mat. But everybody's body is different and different things work for different bodies and different people. So do what feels right in your body today, and that may be different from other days. Just checking in with how you're feeling today and what your body might be communicating to you today. On your next inhale, come to your toes and step the feet in towards the hands. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, make space. Exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the hands up to the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center. Lovely. Take a really deep inhale and exhale. Starting to build a bit of heat in the body now. Fluidly flowing through like water. One of my favorite elements. Inhale, float the arms above the head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Soften the knees as much as you need. Inhale, lift the chest, make space, lengthen the spine. Exhale, frame the feet with the hands, step the feet back into plank. Work through your version of Chaturanga now. So you can work through the modified version, or you can work through into an upward dog. So on the inhale, coming into your upward dog or cobra. And on an exhale, come through into downward facing dog. Now, on your next inhale, come to your toes and step the left foot through between the hands. And sweep those arms up, coming into a high lunge. And then come to bring that right heel down to the mat. Spread the arms out to the side. Gaze coming forwards, warrior two. So the side of your right foot is in line with the side of the mat. Toes are pointing forwards. This left foot has stayed in the same position from the high lunge. And the knee is coming towards the little toe, still able to see your big toe. Reaching those fingers away from each other to the sides of the room. Feet pressing down and away. On an inhale, start to come into revolved side angle, extended side angle, sorry. So you may be that your forearm is just coming here to rest on your thigh, and then you're sweeping that right arm over towards your ear. If you feel you want to come a little bit further into this posture, you can then bring your left hand. See how it feels to bring the left hand to the outside of the left foot, if that's accessible for you. Placing it down on the mat, still reaching the right arm up to the sky, and your gaze starts to follow. Remembering that we want if you are coming to this option of the pose, that the knee wants to be coming towards the little toe. So the knee is pressing against the arm here, really active. Coming back through to your warrior two and floating straight into a beautiful extended reverse warrior, sorry. Getting my words all mixed up today. Reverse warrior. So we've really lifted up and out from the waist. The right arm is soft on this right leg. We're strong in the front leg. And the left arm is sweeping over towards our ear. And then when you're ready, just float the arms back down to frame that front foot. Bring the heel away from the mat. Step back, meeting in a plank position, and work through your chaturanga. On the inhale, coming through either upward facing dog or cobra. And on an exhale, meeting in downward facing dog. So now I will just turn so that you can see me. Grounding through the hands and the feet, relaxing the head and the neck. On your next inhale, come to your toes and sweep the right foot through this time between the hands. Inhale, sweeping the arms above your head, high lunge. Bringing that back heel down, so the left back heel down. Bringing the arms out to the side, roughly shoulder height. Gaze coming forwards, warrior two. So this left foot this time is in line with the side of your mat, and the right foot is in that same position as the high lunge. Now coming into extended side angle, start to either bring your forearm to the right thigh and making space in the body. Bring the ribs away from the hips, sweep the left arm over towards your ear. Maybe the gaze is coming to the ceiling, maybe it's coming to your middle finger. If you would like to come slightly further into this, you could start to bring your right hand to the outside of your right foot and feel into this. But do what feels right in your body today. The knee is still coming towards the little toe, so pressing lightly against that right arm. Lots of hair getting in the way today. And just breathe. If you're finding it difficult to breathe in any of the postures, then I would recommend modifying and seeing how it feels to come back a step. Remember, our breath is a communication to us if we choose to listen to it. Feeling that left side body really opening up. And when you're ready, come away back through warrior two and sweeping and floating into reverse warrior. So the left hand has come to the left thigh, really lightly on there, and the right arm sweeping towards your right ear. Really nice stretch through the right side body. And imagine that your ribs are coming away from your hips, coming up and out away from your waist. Come back through warrior two, floating those hands down. Flip the heel off the mat. Step back and meeting into plank. Well done, everyone. And work through a vinyasa. Inhaling either into upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, meeting back into downward facing dog. You can come back to your child's pose at any time you need to. Anytime you need to throughout the class. Grounding through the hands and the feet. Come back to your breath. Really thinking about lengthening the spine and lifting the hips up towards the sky. Belly button coming in towards the spine. Strong through the shoulders. Knees can be bent as much as they need to, and feet do not need to be flat. And just coming back again to that place of non-judgment. And that very, very much includes yourself. And it's very interlinked with acceptance of where you're at today, how you're feeling, how your practice is going today. On your next inhale, come to your toes and step the feet in towards the hands. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, make space. Exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Inhale, lift the arms above the head. Exhale, hands through heart center. Take a couple of moments here. Feeling the energy running through your body. Nice and warm. And when you're ready, just come to a place where you can see me clearly, and we will lower down to the mat. Now, option to come to your toes here. You don't have to, you can keep your toes grounded, your toes, your feet grounded, if that feels best for you. If you want to come to your toes, you can. Hands can come to Anjali Mudra here. Just slowly, slower down. Balancing on the toes, and then release the hands, release the hips, come down to your mat. Now, I will stay facing you, and you're going to come to a beautiful flowering lotus. So, a couple of options here. We'll start with coming and doing one side at a time. So lift your knees are bent in. So your knees are coming in towards your body. Our sitting bones are nicely grounded. And think about lifting and lengthening through the spine, crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Now take your left arm and hook it just under your leg. So hooking the arm under the leg, and the hand is open and coming out. So this is one side of the posture. So have a play around with that and see how it feels. It might be that you're kind of just coming underneath here or here, and just work with that. Have a little play around on the other side, see how it feels to get the other arm hooked under. I appreciate that this won't be accessible for everyone, and if it's not, I just encourage you to have a little play around doing one side at a time and just seeing if you can lightly bring your foot off and just have a little play around with it. If you'd like to come into the full posture of flowering lotus. Then you come to both at the time. So we're really balancing on our sitting bones. And the aim is to bring the heels together with the feet pointing out. And the hands are hooked underneath, pressing into the legs. So the forearms pressing into the calves pressing into the forearms, and the heels pressing in together. And it's a real lifting sensation. It's like we're a bowl. Imagine that we're a bowl and that we're carrying and supporting something. If you want to, you can come into Gayana Mudra here, bringing your thumb to your index finger. And this is a mudra that symbolizes concentration and can symbolize knowledge. We all have inner knowledge and wisdom that we can access at any time. So this is a real kind of test of balance as well, test of the mind, not just the body. Thinking about Mula Bandha here as well, or root lock, engaging those lower abdominals, all those inner lower muscles in the seat of the pelvis. And release. Well done, everyone. Beautiful. Now, bringing the legs out in front, flexing the feet, coming into Paschimottanasana. So find your lengthened legs and your flexed feet first. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, and reach forward. Maybe your hands are coming to your thighs, maybe they're coming to the shins, maybe they're coming to your toes. Now, Paschimottanasana can be done with either a lengthened spine or a rounded spine. Today, I invite you to come into the rounded spine option if that feels good for you. So you can just round your spine here and just slightly dip your head if that feels right. Breathing out a lovely stretch down the back of your legs. Couple of breaths here. Maybe you take a moment to look inwards. When you're ready, start to peel the body back up out of your Paschimottanasana and start to bring your right knee in towards your chest with your right foot planted on the mat. And bring your left arm and hug that right knee. Bring your right arm to the mat slightly behind you. And inhale, lifting through the waist. Come into a twist over to the right side. As you exhale, coming deeper into that twist. On the inhale, making space, and on the exhale, coming deeper to Marichyasana. If it feels good to, you can have the option on an inhale to sweep that left arm up and bring it over. So over that right leg. Perhaps you could lengthen the arm or keep the arm like this. That's just an option. Come to what feels right. And release. And then coming to the other side. So left knee bent in, foot planted on the mat. With this right foot as well, flex the toes and bring your right arm to give your left knee a hug. Bring that left arm to the mat behind you and start to bring your gaze over to the left. On the inhale, really initiating the twist from the waist. And on the exhale, sinking deeper into the twist. Again, option here. If on an inhale you like sweep the right arm up, you can bring it over to the outside of the left thigh. This is just an option. You don't have to come here. On the inhale, making space in the body, and on the exhale, releasing deeper into the twist. Twists are really detoxifying for the body. And that's probably explains why we quite often do so many in a yoga class. When you're ready, come out of your Marichyasana seat, and you can come into a bound angle pose, which is bringing the palms of your feet together and then letting your hips drop out to the side. Now, option here to modify, if this is really intense or feels kind of any gripping on the hips, you could pop some blocks under your thighs to bring the mat further up closer to you. If that is still kind of really not comfortable, then you can work with a cross-legged position instead here. So if you are in your bound angle position, option to rest the hands around the ankles and just think about lifting the chest. Letting the knees come out to the side, feeling into a hip opening sensation. You can either work with this, or if you want to bring the feet slightly further away from the body, creating more of a diamond shape, you can start to fold, working with your head mainly coming towards the feet. Again, you can bring yourself into a rounded spine here if that feels right too. Elbows coming out to the side. When you're ready, bring yourself back up to neutral, support the knees and bring them back in towards each other. And lower down to a lying position, coming full circle back to where we started the practice. Option here for a happy baby. So similar to when we did our flowering lotus, if a full happy baby is feeling a bit strong for where you're at today, then maybe play around with coming into a half happy baby and having one leg grounded on the mat with the foot grounded, and the knee bent in. And your hands can come to either your thigh, your shin, or your foot. And you're just guiding the knee towards the armpit, coming in towards the chest or the armpit. And that is just the direction it's heading in. It doesn't need to be there. So you could work with a half happy baby on each side, or if you want to come into full happy baby, then you can come into that now. Hands don't have to be on the feet here. And then just take any rocks, any movement that feels good for you in happy baby. Taking a stretch out, lengthening the legs, if that is part of your practice. If that feels right in your body to do that, then do that. If it doesn't, then don't. You could play around with lengthening one leg at a time, if that's something that you're working with. But again, that's just an option. Just take whatever feels right for you. Lovely. Now, wherever you are, start to come out of your happy baby and release the legs down to the mat for Shavasana. Now, I'm going to offer an option today. If you've got a bolster or some cushions, ideally kind of this shape, but you know, this is just an option. You can come down into your traditional Shavasana. If you would like to prop the cushions or bolster just roughly kind of under the knees, sort of lifting your legs slightly, and then lower yourself down to the mat for your Shavasana. This just gives you another option that can be really restorative. But if this does not feel comfortable for you, or if you do have any pinching sensations in your spine at all from doing this, then do come out of it and come into maybe the traditional Shavasana position. You can always take a blanket as well and pop a blanket over you. And the reason that we come to Shavasana at the end of every class, and why it's arguably the most important part of your yoga class, is because Shavasana is a place to come to a sense of balance within the body. Shavasana is a place where we can start to access our parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest mode. And this is the place where all healing in the body takes place within this part of our nervous system. So this is a really powerful and really important place to be and to come to. As part of balancing the body, you can balance your blood pressure, your nervous system, your immune system. Your brain waves even. So relaxing the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, letting your shoulder blades melt to the mat, and your hips melt down into the earth. Allow yourself to come to that restful place. You have always been and will always be enough. And when you're ready, start to bring your mind back into the physical body. Keeping your eyes closed if that feels good. Roll over to one side, whichever side feels most natural for you to come to. Pause for a moment there before supporting yourself to come back up to a seated position, remaining with the eyes closed if that feels right to do so. Bring your hands to heart center. And you can slowly start to open your eyes if you haven't already, bringing your gaze to the floor in front of you. Just taking a few moments here for yourself. Take a couple of releasing breaths to close off our practice. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Release. And one more. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Namaste. Thank you for being here with me today. And I hope you enjoyed that practice, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon on your mat.